In today's video, we're going to be revisiting the changes that AYCD has made to their toolbox. One thing in particular, which would be around Nike account farming, as well as the generator tool that has been added in. First and foremost, just where AYCD toolbox was, if you wanted to generate VCC cards, you would have visited the generators section. If you wanted to farm your Nike accounts, you would have visited the spoof section. They've taken those two unique features and they've moved them into what they've now renamed and call the profile builder. So to get access to VCCs, account activity, and then of course billing profiles, you would just be simply visiting billing profile or profile builder as a whole in this area here. So once you've selected and you've opened that up, you're met with what you normally would have seen before, which would have been just where you would have imported and exported your billing profiles. But you'll notice at the top, there's a couple extra things that have been added, such as virtual cards, accounts, and then proxies and analytics. So if you have a previous export of your Nike accounts that you're looking to import back in to be able to use as farming, you'll want to just come over to the account section. You'll select file, and I apologize. You'll pop over to this section right here. You'll click file and you go import, and then you'll just select sneakers as the store, and then you would locate the file by clicking this here, and you'll just bring your CSV in. If you don't have an export and you plan to manually add everything in, you'll just simply select files, and then from here it'll give you a copy paste option, and the import accounts format is username, password, and proxy, as you can see. So they give you the proxy section in case you have linked proxies to your accounts before. If you have not, it's not mandatory. You could always just do user and password and then dump your proxies into the proxy section and assign them out later on. So once you've done so, you'll click import, and as you can see, it will all appear as seen in this category here. So one thing to note, I'm not going to click this because I don't want the login information to be exposed, but if I were to click it, you would see the username, you would see the password, and then you would also see the proxy that I had assigned all the way here. So that's how I would import my Nike accounts. When it comes down to wanting to actually farm them, I'll just pop over and click the play button. They'll all be here for me. I'll just simply click play to start generating, and during the generation process, account generation process, initially it'll go through a login section, kind of like a login category or area, or whatever you want to call it. I've already done this before, so the sessions are already saved, so the process of it getting logged back in is very, very simple. But once you start the farming activities tasks, as you can see, it'll just start browsing the website on its own. It'll flip through pages, it'll scroll through, it'll make changes to the accounts that it sees fit. It won't touch the important information such as billing and shipping, but it'll change your profile picture for you. It'll go through different types of experiences and categories and catalogs and etc. just to generate activity as a whole. Treat this like you would have as if when you were farming your Gmails. It farms for a duration, a period of time, and then it stops and it rests, and then it starts again thereafter. So realistically, all you got to do is just let this run in the background. It does open up browser windows. So what I will say is that you're probably better off throwing this on a separate computer or a separate server, because the last thing you want is you're in the middle of a drop or you're just using your computer for whatever work and windows are constantly popping open and browsing in the background. You're going to be sitting there constantly minimizing these browsers, and it can get fairly annoying. So that's the piece when it comes to wanting to generate activity. Outside of activity generation, there are some other features that are made available to you that can be found. So let me see if these browsers closed out. Sorry. That can be found in this same area right here. So first things first, if you're going to be generating an account, SMS credentials are important. So you're going to add your SMS provider here. Now, whether if you're using SMS PVA, SMS Man, Text Verified, or what have you, you're going to create an API key, and you're going to select the provider. You're going to just name it what you like, and you add the API key in. Once you add the API key in, it's going to show you how much credit you have available, and it'll show you the connectivity status as well too. That's the first step. The second step would be based off of what you decide. Now, by that I mean is, do you want to generate on existing mails, or whether if you want to generate on catch-alls. So if you want to do existing mails, you'll simply come to this category right here and you'll add your Gmail, Outlook, or your Yahoo's. There is a custom section if there are other email providers like Proton Mail, iCloud, or what have you that are not pre-categorized here that you can add in. Simple, just click File, Create. If it's custom, you'll put the email address, the password, and all the information that's required through here. So that's the mail credentials section. Accounts will be here. All the accounts that you create will pop over into this category that you can access at any time. And then when it comes down to the generation process, you're going to start up over here where the account generation generator is located. You'll click Create, and then you can select the type of module. So if you want to reset accounts, if you want to update account information, or if you want to generate. For the purpose of this video, we're going to do generate. We'll go next. Then you can select a store. So if we're going to be doing sneakers, we're going to select sneakers. I'm going to select my browser type. You can do Chrome or Brave. I like Brave because it's less CPU and less RAM intensive. Categories. I could select the categories, whether if I want it to be all or my accounts. And then proxies. I would have had a set of proxies added into this area, which I can just pull, right? So for example, ChimpGen, what have you. And then from here, just a couple extra stuff I can click myself. So retry fill task with a random proxy, only use unused proxies, autofill billing and shipping information. This is only useful in the event where you have your billing information already added into profiles. And if you're creating Nike accounts, it's just going to go ahead and autofill billing and shipping for you. That's the only time you would have that enabled. If you don't, and you're just trying to create accounts, you would uncheck this area and leave it blank. To the right side, you could select. So if you're using profiles, then you can use the profile emails to generate accounts. If you want to use catch-all, you would select catch-all. It'll automatically assign passwords to it. Or if you don't want to use catch-alls, you would pop over to the email section and you'd manually enter or copy and paste a list of emails that you want the accounts to be created on. Once you've done so, you'll pop over to the SMS provider, you'll select your provider, and then from there you could select everything else accordingly. So that's that. Now, if you plan to use a mail provider, this is primarily for OTPs. So creating Nike accounts, generally, unless there's a bypass in place, it will send you an email code, which AYCD then will need to scrape that code to be able to help finalize the creation of the Nike account. So you'll select your mail provider from there after you've added those credentials in here. And again, you'll just follow the next step of what the creation would look like. So you'll select start, and then it'll go through the account creation process. And the beauty of it is once it starts to create the accounts for you, this is kind of like a hub. It's using OTP verifications through the mail credentials that you've added. And of course, it'll start to add all of the accounts as they get generated into this area right here, to which then you can start using for either generating activity, or you can export them and you can add them into your bot and you can take it from there. One more thing that I do want to note within this area right here is the bottom. This bottom here, so orders. So because this is a hub, you can also now track orders that are under Nike US or Nike CA. So if you do get any checkouts with those, you can simply track the orders in this area. Now, one more thing is if you're buying accounts from other places and they're not giving you access to the original emails, for example, you can still plug those accounts in here, and anytime you get checkouts, you can still search for the order number and keep track of the status of that as well. So you're not limited to just the ones that you've created. This is a hub where you can literally use it for anything in any way that you like. So that's this. It's fairly simple. This side I talked about virtual cards having moved in. So if you wanted to link those to your profiles, you'll simply add your provider in. You'll generate your cards, and then from here you can start the actual profile generation process, and you could use the profile information that you've created as well as those virtual cards as billing information that you can from this tool also add into your accounts. So to keep this video short, I'm not going to go through the actual process step by step of what that looks like. What I will advise is fiddle around, play around with it, read the documentation that's made available to you, If you got any questions, best course of action, because this is a new product, is to speak to the AYCD team. If they cannot assist you, we're more than happy to help you as well. But very much like yourself, we're taking it day by day and we're learning how this works too. So if you get stuck and no one's helping you, reach out. We got you. We're more than happy to assist you. Thank you for watching.